Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited for our chapter today. Seriously, it's a good one. We're going to hear a fantastic story, learn some really cool facts, and, you guessed it, become grammar champions. We're diving right into the magical story of the sticky stone.
But hey, before we start, I've got a question for you. You know how we all love to stick our awesome drawings on the fridge, right? Well, have you ever stopped and wondered, how does it actually stick? It's like magic, but it's not. It's all because of a super special invisible power, a magnetic field. That little magnet creates an attraction that holds your masterpiece right there on the fridge door. How cool is that?
Okay, so what's on the menu for today? We'll jump into the story of Magnus, find out some amazing magnet facts, get our grammar hats on, talk about being safe, and then it's your turn to shine. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first things first, let's get into our story. It's this amazing tale about a young boy and a very, very sticky stone. So, let's meet our hero, Magnus. He was a young, super hard-working, and really caring boy. His family were sheep herders. People who look after sheep. And let me tell you, these weren't just any old sheep. He had a whole flock of special merino sheep, and they are famous for their incredibly soft, high-quality wool.
But then, one day, oh no, while his flock was grazing, Magnus realized one of his sheep was missing. It was a curious little lamb that had wandered off. Magnus was so worried. He searched all day, from sunrise to sunset. Poor Magnus, he was looking everywhere. He walked through streams, checked behind bushes, climbed up hills, and peered into valleys, but nothing. The little lamb was nowhere to be found.
As he kept searching, he stepped onto this rocky cliff, and then something really weird happened. He felt this strange, strong pull. His boots were completely stuck to the rock. It felt like they were nailed right to it. He tried to lift his foot, but he couldn't move. Can you imagine? He started to get really nervous and super confused.
Yeah, his mind was just racing. He was thinking, what is going on? Why are my boots stuck? Why can't I move? And all he could think about was, how am I going to find my lost sheep now? He was really scared.
But then, he noticed something. He touched the rock with his bare hands, and nothing happened. And then he saw his shepherd's cane lying nearby, and only the iron tip was stuck to the rock. And that's when it clicked. He figured out the secret. The rock wasn't sticky, it was only pulling on things made of iron. That's why his boots were stuck, because of the little iron nails in the soles. It wasn't magic at all, it was science.
So Magnus quickly pulled the iron nails out of his boots, and poof, he was free. He found his little lost lamb safe and sound, and he took a few pieces of that strange rock back home. He showed everyone in his village how this cool rock could pull iron things towards it. The villagers were totally amazed, and so they decided to name the rock a magnet in honor of the boy who found it. Magnus. What a great story, right?
I love that story. But guess what? The adventure doesn't stop there. Not at all. There are so many cool real-world things to learn about magnets. Ready for some amazing facts?
Way back in the day, sailors used natural magnets called lodestones to help them find their way across the huge oceans. And speaking of amazing magnetic places, check this out. This is a real place in India called Magnetic Hill, and it's famous for something mind-boggling. Cars parked there look like they're rolling uphill, all by themselves, completely defying gravity. Isn't that just incredible?
Okay, story time is done. Fun facts are done. Now it's time to put on our thinking caps and become grammar experts. And hey, don't worry, I promise we'll make this really easy and fun. Let's do this.
First up, nouns. So a common noun is just a general word for something, like shepherd, or rock, or village. But a proper noun is the special name for one particular person or place. Think Magnus, or Marco Polo, or Magnetic Hill. And here's the super important rule you can't forget. Proper nouns always start with a big, bold capital letter.
Next, let's talk about adjectives. These are my favorite. Adjectives are just describing words. They add a little color and detail. They tell us more about a person or a thing. So, if we think about Magnus, what kind of boy was he? The story told us he was young, hardworking, and caring. See? Those words describe his qualities. They paint a picture for us.
Okay, time for collective nouns. This is just a fancy way of saying a special name for a whole group of things. So, Magnus didn't just have sheep, he had a flock of sheep. And in the same way, we say a herd of cows, or a pride of lions. And get this, you call a group of fish a school of fish. No, not the kind with classrooms, but a big group swimming together. Fun, right?
All right, next up is phrasal verbs. Now that sounds super complicated, doesn't it? But trust me, it's really, really simple. It's just a verb, an action word, that's teamed up with a little word like for, or off, or out. Remember how Magnus looked for his lamb? Or how he took off his boots? Or when he pulled out the nails? Yep, you guessed it. Those are all phrasal verbs. See? Easy.
And for our last grammar step, let's talk about suffixes and digraphs. A suffix is just a little ending you add to a word to change it. Like you take sheep and herd, add the suffix "er" at the end, and you get a brand new word, sheepherder. And digraphs, that's just when two letters get together to make one single sound, like S and H make the sh sound in sheep. Wow, we have learned so much today. But before we finish, we need to talk about something really, really important. You know, that little lamb in our story got lost, and that must have been very scary for him. So let's take a minute to learn what to do if you ever get lost.
Okay, listen closely, because these rules are super important to remember. First, try your best to learn your mom or dad's phone number by heart. If you ever realize you're lost, the most important thing is to stay in one place. Don't wander off looking for them. Just stay put and call out mom or dad as loud as you can. And if you're in a place like a mall or a station, look for an information counter and ask an adult who works there for help. You can even ask them to use a loudspeaker.
All right, my super students, you have done an incredible job today. You've listened to a whole story, you've learned some mind-blowing facts, you've tackled grammar, and you learned some very important safety rules. You guys are amazing. So now, it is your turn.
I am seriously so proud of all of you. You paid such great attention through all of that. You now have all the knowledge and all the power you need. I am telling you, you are 100% ready to solve every single question in your book. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, open up your books and give those questions a try. I bet you'll see just how easy they are now. To all of my wonderful students watching this, I'm wishing you the very best of luck. You are going to do great. And before you go, here's a little something to think about. If a magnet is strong enough to make it look like a car is rolling uphill, what other amazing things do you think magnets can do? Ponder that. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you next time.